You're such an asshole.
It's not, how do I want to put it? Got it. Figured it out. Let's try to figure out how I was going to open this. Different people walk different paths in lives, and the paths that they take, which they take multiple times, just like you would commute to the office or you go to school. Like there's a rote rehearsal. There are common paths. I go to the same grocery store, you go to the same school, but it's in a different environment. But these are well-worn paths in life that we go down. And over the course of sometimes decades, we just like, oh, yeah, that's common sense. Like everybody knows that. But not everybody knows that because they don't live in your environment. Like everybody here knows you don't pet the buffalo. All right. But there's some fat Karen from California who's going to go pet the fluffy cows. Watch the video. It's great. And then the buffalo tries to gore her, misses by this much, but hilariously hooks her pants, rips them off, flips her up. And for a second, people thought there were two suns in the sky because there was this bright ball of white light, and there's this big fat white woman's ass up in the sky. They got all on camera. And what it shows you is that it isn't common sense for everyone. And whereas I've had people say, "What, you didn't know that?" Like, no, how would I have known that? You're truly caught in the dark. A lot of that's mechanical. You didn't know you had to, I don't know, change the timing belt on what is it called, a impact engine or something like that, where the engine, like, no one told me. Why would you design such a stupid thing? And maybe I have the benefit of excuse me. Oi. Some went down the wrong throat. Maybe I have the benefit of being brought up in the church, being an actual, that's not a joke, I am a preacher's kid, and seeing just what a small percentage of people who actually attend church are actually Christian. I'm like, what? You didn't know? You thought everybody there actually believed in the guy nailed to the plank of wood? You actually believe that? Especially those within the church themselves. I feel kind of bad because I have a really good friend, very, very, very penitent Christian, very believes, tithes, follows the rules because he believes it. He's not faking it. And even when he was trying to find a girl of a Christian faith, because those are the rules, he was having just a hell of a time trying to get women in the church of all things. Like, I don't know. They're in the church, but then they act like secular women outside the church. No. And so it's been years since I dated. So, and on top of my experience actually being in the church and seeing it from behind the scenes, and everyone's banging everybody else's wife, and there's no guy. Oh, yeah, that Sunday thing we do. Sure. All right. I'm just here to pick up some pussy. Christian pussy. Yeah, that's what it says in the book. Long ago, I knew people are there for ulterior reasons. They're not there for Christ, which means it's not a church, or maybe it's a church, but there's very few Christians there. But that was as a kid. As an adult, I went through that, just this weird spate, not by design, not by intent. I just dated a bunch of these gals who were Christian. Some who either were attending or had attended a Christian college. I'm going to tell you right now, right, I'm helping you boys out, Christian or not. Do not date girls that go to Christian colleges. Just don't. Okay. It's a whole other video. And someone, if they want to pay me a lot of money, I could go into that. But you're just not going to date the girls that go to Christian college. But when I dated all these gals. And it was an added layer of hypocrisy where I saw people who weren't Christian claim to be using Christianity for a second or tertiary ulterior motive. And in this particular case, it was women using Christianity to lord and wield control over men. Women kind of wanted to get married. They wanted to have kids, but they really didn't like men. And a lot of them really didn't like sex. The idea repulsed them. But with Christianity, you could say, you can always, very, very short version, you can manipulate and interpret that book however you want. and for ulterior aims and motives. Like you can, but the main thing is you can always compare the guy that's interested in you or the guy that's married to you to Christ and find fault in him. Well, you're really not a good Christian. You're not. Blah, 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 blah. And the ultimate irony is these are not Christian women, because the hell if they're going to follow that book. Anyway, we have a request, and this guy says, "Can I send a story in to you about dating as a Christian, dating Christian gals?" I'm like, hell yeah, because we're here to help everybody, but Christian men, especially young Christian, anyone, and by young I mean under 40, you guys got to fight this. You think you being a Christian, you being in the church, removes you from the secular hell and battle that's going on in the current dating war between the sexes. It absolutely does not. There's still women, and I would say they're women first and Christians eighth, if at all. You very much have to deal with the secular stuff, but in being Christian, if you're true, you have your hand tied behind your back, or at least one hand tied behind your back, because you got to follow a whole set of other rules and laws in addition to the ever-changing secular ones that evolve throughout the battle going on between the sexes outside of the church. And then if the girls in your church are not going to play by Christian rules, well, now you're really hosed, because you got two sets of rules to follow. They have none. And then they have this Bible or Christianity to warp and lord over you. And this is why you see, why at least I've seen among my Christian friends, such frustration and pain and confusion. And I just want to lean over to you. They're not real Christians. They're faking it. Which is what I thought. Like, yeah, didn't you know that? Those aren't real Christians. Christians in the church. Are you kidding me? That's the last place they'd be. You didn't know 95% of the people in your church were a bunch of posers, especially the single females? You didn't know that? And apparently not. And I'm not making fun of the Christian men at all in any regard, but I had the benefit of being outside. I wasn't in the echo chamber. I saw from behind. I saw it from every angle. I had satellites up. Oh, look at this. More not Christians in the church. And who would have thought? And so all I want to do, Lord knows how many of you are going to send in your empirical stories about dating Christian women, or trying to, I guess, would be the more common ones. All I want to do is get it in your heads, make you guys realize the vast majority of Christian girls you're either dating or trying to date, some of you, they're not Christian. They're not Christian, and they have no intention to be. And I got to say 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 times, 2/3 of the time, they're really just using Christianity to manipulate you. They really are. And so here's one such case. It's a shorter one, but it has all the ingredients. It's like you're being fed a chocolate chip cookie, which is a fine thing, but they're telling you it's a donut. And I look at you and I'm like, no, that's a chocolate chip cookie. I could spot it a mile. That's a chocolate chip cookie. Why? I'm like, well, I can look at it, take a bite, it tastes like it, but it's got all the ingredients. And they cut it up into a square cookie. So, oh no, this is an ice cream cone. Oh yeah, this is an ice cream cone. I'm like, no, that's still a chocolate chip cookie. It's got the ingredients. So here's the ingredients in the story. And we'll go through it. I'm going to show you where he screwed up. So he doesn't continue to screw up. By the way, buddy, I'll just cut right to my end recommendations. You should just leave this singles group. You're not going to find a Christian girl there. So he doesn't screw up, and you guys don't screw up, because like, those are the ingredients that crazy secular preacher's kid guy was talking about on the internet. Oh man, I'm going to save myself the time, because it's not a Christian girl in front of you. Hey, Cappy. So I go to a church in the Bible Belt. I'm going to anonymize some things so it doesn't make his current situation worse. Religious state compared to most others. I've been going to a church group where we discuss the Bible and how to apply the knowledge to today. Okay, Bible study, sure. We have a minority of men and multiple as many of time women in the group, and dating has come up a few times before. A new young girl, very young, but an adult woman, single divorced mom, recently joined and has just been hammering us Christian guys whenever dating comes into this realm. If it comes into this realm at all. Finally, I mentioned that according to Matthew 3:32, a real Christian man wouldn't marry you, as it would be adultery according to the Bible, since she divorced her husband. All right, let's stop right here. So far, I'm still ruling in your favor. You got some lippy single mom, probably born again, the ultimate hypocrite, fake poser Christian there ever was. She's a bad person. She's ruined a family. She has brought a kid onto I'm going to call it child abuse, because I don't know what you guys call divorce when you have kids, but I call it abuse. No. So then she started it, right? You men better man up and start committing to my used ass pussy. It should have been wet ass pussy. It should be used ass pussy. Maybe there should be a cool Christian female all rap group. Used ass Christian pussy. Used ass Christian pussy. Come get some. Come get some. Oh, don't ignore that daddy. I don't know. You girls can figure it out. I'm not a talented individual. So what is Matthew 5:32? Is this the nuclear bomb? Like, submit everyone who divorces his wife except on the ground of sexual immorality makes her commit adultery. What does that mean? We've established that when a man divorces an innocent woman, he exposes her to the intimate violation because she has been severally trespassed against by the divorcer. But it says if the guy divorces his wife, doesn't say makes her commit adultery. All right, I'm going to assume divorce on the ground of section makes her commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman, oh, here it is. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Okay, so the Bible's generally against divorce, all right? You bring it in there. I'm just going to assume you apply it correctly. I don't know. I haven't delved into it. I'm not a scholar. And so you're fighting her with the rule book. Now, does she say, that's what the Bible says? Maybe you Christians ought to read it. That I better change my rules because I'm a Christian, right? She claims to be a Christian. She's in a Christian group. She's in a Christian church. The Bible says, no stealing third base on Tuesdays. And she's going to follow that rule, right? Okay. Well, this kicked up a hornet's nest in the group. No kidding. Good for you. I mean, I'm still on your side. It's these fake poser, watered down Christians. That's what it is. You say, no, those are the rules. That's great. You know the Bible that well. Well, this kicked up a hornet's nest in the group, and all the Christian girls said no, because Jesus forgives all. That doesn't, he may forgive you, but you still have the sin on your track record. Okay, so not only did the one girl do that, but you said all the girls said no, because Jesus forgives all. Now, at this point, you and all the other Christian men out there, okay, you have to look and realize what that says, that action where they just excuse. You have to realize not a single one of those girls are Christian. The rule book said over there, you can't steal home on a Sunday. All right. No batting left-handed on Tuesdays. They rejected it. And wow, because Jesus forgives all. Oh, you mean like every other poser who's a horrible piece of shit usually goes and finds out that, well, it just forgives us all. I'm born again. What are you? Gee, did I not say one of the ingredients was women manipulating Christianity and the Bible to fit to lord power over you? Did I not say that? Male or female doesn't matter. If it's that's what it says. It's pretty clear in my book. Right? Yeah, divorce, that's not good. You shouldn't do it. Now, maybe in their eyes, like, okay, yeah, but Jesus forgave us, so you should give us a second chance. That's a separate argument. But they're immediately no, Jesus forgives. Jesus forgiveness. I'm a good person. I'm a good person. I'm a good person. I'm a good person. What's the name of my half sibling children I all have again? God, I forgot all the different sperm donors' names. Oh well, I'm still a great person because Jesus forgives me. Now you, what was it? Used as Christian pussy. Used as Christian pussy. Come get some. Come get some. Jesus forgives all. Oh, I want to find my old teachers at the Christian school. I want to find you all. I want to find you all. This led me to refer. All right, see, now here's where you got to realize you've made the very innocent mistake, understandable mistake, that these people have a desire to remain Christian and or let alone be intellectually honest. You should realize they have no intellectual honesty. These are not honorable people. And you'd be just like, okay, that's it. And if there was any intention you had of like, oh, maybe I'll wife one of these gals up. No, it's done because they're liars is essentially what it boils down to. And now you're going to make a mistake where you're going to try to reason with them with even more evidence. Let me tell you something about single Christian girls and leftists. They're that because they choose to be, not because evidence pointed them towards it. They're that because it serves their interests, and usually their interests are lazy and immoral. I could show you the killing fields of communism. I could reason and logic like, look, you're really just stealing and enslaving a bunch of other people. Leftists don't care. They don't care. It's not until they're like that one guy in New York that got stabbed before him. Man, he might have cared then. Maybe he cared by that point. Like, I'm dying. You mean I was all wrong? But they don't care. They have no intention of being Christians. I don't know what, maybe those of you who are in the Christian community or religions in general, do you have a name for posers who fake being whatever, Jew, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, whatever? Do you have a word for that? Is there a scriptural word? I don't know what this, but that's what they are, and they're horrible. It's not like they're traitors. It's in a sense they are, but there must be another, like posers, I guess. This leads me to referring to many more verses, like the fact that a woman submits and was met with, well, that's not what it really means. Okay, you see, now you're wasting your time. And again, if your goal was to have, this sounds like Bible study, you're here to study the Bible, doesn't sound like a singles group strictly. But if you're here to study the Bible, well, those people aren't really studying the Bible. So I would leave. Go listen to Beckloff. Go listen to some good Christians. Listen to Glenn Lawrence. Binge on some R.C. Sproul. Whatever you want to do. But those aren't real Christians. So I would probably leave that group. But now you're going to waste your time trying to reason with them using the rule book they just decided to throw out. A lot of them call them cafeteria Christians. That's what that's called. Where it's like, well, I'll have a little bit of this, but I don't like that. But I do like this. As the conversation continued, I point out different verses, and the response became either no, it's fine because Jesus forgives us, or no, that part's outdated. It's outdated. It's outdated. Or means something else. You're taking it too literally. See, now here was the preacher or the reverend or the pastor. Was he agreeing with them or you? Was he coming in? No, that's what it says. Because that tells you right now whether that church is a dead branch of Christianity or not. Because if the pastor's like, well, it's not popular and it's a little dated, God himself didn't know what he was writing when he wrote this book. It's the word of God, right? I don't know what more formal authority you need if you believe in religion. That's what God wrote. Well, not today, because my name is Becky and I'm a single mom whore. Christian pussy, Christian pussy. And here you are. Again, you don't see it. Do you see what a dope you look like now trying to reason with these people that have absolutely no intellectual honesty whatsoever? I finally gave up arguing about it. That's the best thing you did. As I realized they want the capacity of being Christians without the responsibility or accountability of Christian women. You nailed it. Good for you. Good for you. And I think damn near 95% of the single Christian men out there, you'd all do very well the same, because once again, they're not Christian women. I know many men probably have similar instances, and I would love to hear them, because I think your particular group needs to hear this. Similar instances, but this was the final straw when I was asked by the group lead to avoid agitating women like that. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so whoever the group lead is going to choose popularity over what? The word of God. The Lord. Talent on loan from God. I know many men that have... so that's the basics. Unfortunately, another grain of sand, and I'm now looking for a new group. Now, there you go. I'll say it again. Most of these physical churches, especially in the West, are pointless. I have heard of, Orthodox ones and other ones like, no, a fire and brimstone guy over there. So, but I do believe, I don't know, just read the Bible. It's there. I'm sure you could read interpretive books about the Bible. You could go online. Kyle, okay, I don't want to see any more. I keep saying, turn off all notifications. Are you going to let me do it? Are you going to let me do it? No, are you going to let me do it? No, you're not. Wow. Get informational off. Do you want to? Oh, never mind. That's a different. Aaron, why are you so angry? Yes, you should look for a new group, but I would be going online. And unfortunately, just the speculation from a guy outside of the church, I think most of you, and this would include other major religions, Judaism and Islam in the West. I think slowly various churches, synagogues, mosques, institutions of religion, you will be slowly corrupted because you are in an environment that is not just secular, but the women are what they are learning in the world outside of religion is completely antithetical to what has been taught by the Abrahamic religions, which, as much as you guys all want to kill each other, it's like, you all kind of have a similar origin story. Not a similar, the same origin story, but that's another topic for another time. Awful lot of similar rules you all got there. The feminism strong, you go girl, don't need no, is simply antithetical to the traditional religions. And if you're serious about your religion, I think you're going to have to find it online, or you find a truly old school, traditional Orthodox church, synagogue, or mosque. And yeah, I mean, if you got articles, if you got stories, I'd love to hear, because we got to get this out there. I would love to tell people. I would love to shine a light. And especially since you're Christian guys, like, you're supposed to go marry Christian women, right? Like, and you're taking orders from who? God. Well, it's pretty important if you're a real Christian. So it's not necessarily imperative, but it's kind of a big deal that you go find a Christian woman and put your effort into it. Well, let me introduce some secular reality into your strategy there. Most of those gals aren't religious, aren't Christian. And you got to all wake up. One, so you quit pissing away your time. And two, you more intelligently and effectively go find yourself a genuine Christian woman who follows Christ and obeys the rules and everything. All right. Let's go to the super chats. Let's go to the super chats and have ourselves a treat. It's different 32, $2. I know a preacher's daughter who had gone about. Oh, God, don't even start me about preacher's kid. You want me to start about preacher's kids? I turned out to be one of the good ones. There's the meme. It's like preacher's kids go one of two ways, and it's a picture of Captain America and Deadpool. You either become, what was it, Billy Graham Jr., or not. You become the Satan and devil himself. I was the good one. I just don't believe in the, I didn't go and commit crimes and knock up women. But yeah, preachers' daughters are just, oh God, I love to say it. I'd love to say it, but that would be a old black check mark on Cappy's record. It's true. It's true. But preachers' daughters are I can't say it. I can't say it. I can't even insinuate what the truth behind them is, but never mind. Andrew has $10. I've been in a church on Mother's Day that the pastor spoke ad nauseum about how great mothers are. Then on Father's Day, the pastor says, Happy Father's Day. Oh, let's not forget the money. Okay, you've been to the church. I hope you don't go back. Oh, sorry, I didn't pull this one up. I'm sorry, Andrew. There you go. Guys, you can leave the church. You're the only one tithing and making donations. Little inside financial baseball about church finances. These institutions want to just become, all women's clubs and boo-hoo-hoo. I mean, fine, let them. Just go and... That's why I had my idea for podcast pastor. Like, I still have the domain right. You don't need a church. I just need one pastor to get his head out of his ass. Like, oh, that's Simon. Oh, I'm not a real good businessman. Fine. Give me your sermons. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. Any pastors out there that are good. That's the key thing. I'm a 23-year-old and I self-ordained and I run a church. No, I want real pastors, really believe in Christianity. You need to have some gray hair about you. Give me your sermon. I'll buy them from you. Man, something happens with pastors and money. I won't mention who it was. I'll just say it's somebody who doesn't give rides to the airport, but he and his friend had a really successful podcast. And I said, you should monetize. Whoa, money. Whoa, wait a second now. Hold on. I'm going to kill them all. Swear to God, I'm going to kill them all. Go up to a pastor. Hey, fuddy duddy. Look, I know, fellowship. I know, brick and mortar. I know. But the cool, hip kid, remember the last time you tried to make it cool and hip for the kids? You came up with Christian rock and Christian rap. All I'm asking you to do is post your sermons online, okay? You did that shit. I don't know why you can't go on the internet. Bible said, geez, I don't know why people are identifying less as Christians. Are the Muslims and the Jews a little more up to speed on their technology? Do you guys podcast imam? I don't take the idea, run with it. I can't get anyone Christian to do it. Podcast rabbi. Do it. Go ahead. Do it. I got podcast priests, though. I bought out the Catholics. Just like, I got the switch right here. Wisdom Vision Productions. How you doing, buddy? $10. My parents threatened me with the burn in hell speech. Oh, that's the go-to answer forever. Yeah, you'll burn in hell if you don't. Yeah. Meanwhile, they were allowed to break all the rules. Christians are a bunch of hypocrites, and I hope your God is real so I can give him the finger. Yep. Don't necessarily hold their God responsible for what humans do. I'm agnostic, but God, don't have shitty people who claim they're Christian ruin the reputation of the God that might exist, Wisdom Vision Productions, again, $2. Much respect and love to non-poser Christians. Well, right. Those are the real ones. What should we call them? Dolezals? Remember Rachel Dolezal? She's a white gal, but she took tanning pills and permed her hair so she could claim she was black. Even worked for the NAACP, I believe. We'll just call them Dolezals. Stuart Clark, $5. I'm the guy who effed his neighbor. Update. I had another lady come over and I woke up to my other car's tires flat. Stuart, I got a buddy in town. I can't mention who he is, but he's a good looking dude. He makes a very handsome salary. And he's telling me about this gal he's dating. I'm like, and I wish I could say I gotta keep him anonymous. Let's say he's not as street smart. He's not as experienced when it comes to the dating thing. All right. And me and another buddy of his, we're looking at each other like he's got Miss Boiling buddies. He's got Miss Kill Baby Rabbits. And we're like, dude. And I literally like, does she know where you live? He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, man, you better not. You gotta be careful with this one. And this friend came over like, oh, what's your girlfriend doing? And I said, she's slashing his tires. That's what she's doing. We all freaking laughed. I'm the guy who effed his neighbor update. I had another lady come over and I wake up to two of my other car tires. She doesn't care that you are in an incredibly how precarious a situation are you in? You're in a neighborhood with your house, your home. I presume you own it. I guess neighborhood, maybe not. I don't know. And it's not an apartment because you don't come over. I guess, but I'm picturing a street, homes. You own it. You're banging your neighbor's wife, and instead of just like shutting the f up and enjoying it, she thinks she owns you, or there's a relationship, a reciprocal relationship that you owe her on your part. And you would dare to have another woman come over, and now your tires are. I'm not kidding. You got to move. You're gonna have to move, Stu. Oh God. I'm losing my mind. What do I do? You gotta move. You have to move. You, like literally, you don't shit in your own yard. The damage is done. You got this crazy woman after you now. All right, and you got to make sure you file with the county. Like if you go sell your house and move somewhere else, geez, and I don't know if you can do that because the interest rates. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't if get some see, but what would the security cameras do? I wonder who it was. It was Batman who slashed your tires, Stu. That's who did it late at night. You must have pissed him off or something. So you get the evidence. It's the gal. What are you going to do with that evidence? Oh, Nick Gilbert, $10. 6 years ago, I sent you a request for a video you titled Dating Secular Girls for Christian Boys. That was right after I left the church. That video was a lifesaver 6 years ago. Later, things are great. Good. Good to hear about it, Nick. Wiz Division Productions, $2. Everyone say a prayer for Stu if we got the Christian. You remember that when you were in church? And now we have some prayers. And it would be legit prayers like somebody was ill, complications with the prayer, and dear God, we hope Jessica Johnson recovers well from her surgery. You know, there was the stand and and dear Lord, may Stu not get his other two tires slashed. We'd have way more fun in my church. Oh, another Spotify inserted Vanger Cappy jingle. Yep. Yep. Somebody, you have all the right to take that rap thing I did about single Christian mom pussy, whatever. Just put it to music, copyright free that I can use, and send me the file so I can upload. I would love to have a jingle, or maybe we have like an organic, church music. Dating single Christian girls. Hat and clogs. Oh my God, Hat, did you win the lottery? You got $10 here. Cappy, do people understand that I do not own a home and make more than 100,000 and not in the dating market, and that's okay? I don't know. You having troubles down there in Phoenix? Am I a cog that must do as they please? Yes. Okay, now you talk about women. You mean I thought it meant your family was giving you go. What am I supposed to do? Happy Cappy. Okay. The younger you get, and the more we train women that they are we teach people, I guess it would be hyper individualism, ultimate 100% solipsism, that you are the only person alive in this world and everybody else is a variable and a cog. They're going to keep viewing you as that. And it doesn't even necessarily mean girls that you're dating. It could be family members or people like, why are you doing what you're supposed to do? Like in my world, why, and it's happened back. Why am I not wearing Nike high tops? I'm wearing the Velcro something 500 shoes from Walmart, and I got to fight people in middle school because I didn't have the right kind of shoes. How do I, and that's okay. Am I a cog that must do as they, yes. What am I supposed to do? I have found it depends on what it is. Okay, this is a general rule. Reason and evidence doesn't work. You need to threaten them. And what I mean by that is you need to no longer be this NPC, like NPCs in the video games don't attack you. You need to make it very clear with anger and rage. That's better. Which there's an implied threat of violence or at least harm because you're getting pissed off. And use the language. No, you dumb effing C. Do you think I'm a robot? I mean, you get right up in there, get in their face. You ever fucking imply I'm a robot again that's here to deal without my own rights, I'll make sure you're aware of my rights. Oh, shit. Because everyone's used to paying a piece. The guy that got stabbed in New York. Let's go visit him again. Like, la, 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 la. Socialism's great. Hey, let's go out at 4 a.m. and stay at a bus stop. Shank. Now, he wasn't around long enough to rethink his history, but he did have time to rethink it. I'm assuming his death was not immediate. And I'm not saying you stab people. I'm just saying you gotta metaphorically slap him across the face a little bit. And like, oh. And just, yeah. If people say like, oh, I'm sorry. Like Joe Pesci, am I here to amuse you? Do you think I'm funny? Do you think I'm an NPC? Do you think I'm here to do what you want me to do? Huh? Wednesday again, $2. I call them lukewarm Christians. It's not derogative enough, not scathing enough. I like Dolezals. Universal coordinate, 8 Australian. Most Christians choose their rules, not followers. You got that right. Nick Gilbert, $5 again. If you think you're dealing with a fake Christian, ask them their top 5 favorite Psalms or Proverbs. You'll filter out the people real quick. True. Wiz Division production, $5. Finally watched the John Wick 4. Fantastic film. It was all right. It was better than average, but it wasn't fantastic. The falling down the stairs a billion times. Love that video game camera part. Definitely movie of the year contender. Hope they don't make another. Deplorable, $5. If a woman is single and living outside her parents' home, she isn't a Christian. The chain of custody is father to husband or permanent church service. Okay, there's another old school one. Good looking women to follow that. Wisdom Vision Productions, $2. Men and their D, always creating problems. There's a truth to it. Like if we had the sex drive of women, we'd not be bothering each other. I'll tell you this, Wisdom. Men do put this upon women. We do because we want to have sex. And women are annoyed with that. So much so that they're making rules and laws against it. It's what it is. I try to because, have I asked out girls that didn't want to go out? Of course, the majority of them. Have I asked out girls slovenly or drunkenly and perhaps not in the most diplomatic and adroit of manners? Yes. But now, if I look at it now, it's almost like be funny, be flirty, find out if she has any, like Troy Francis, it'd be good to take his course. But if they're not, I mean, you get even the slightest bit of okay, fine, bye. Stuart Clark again, $5. Dear Lord, help our friend Stu. I own the home with no payments. Okay, so you got equity. You could go sell it. You could move, is what I'm saying. You could sell it. You'd have the purchasing power to get an equivalent house somewhere else. And maybe a small mortgage that even with today's interest rates you could handle. You don't want to move. You should have banged your neighbor's wife. I changed the intake in my 99. I barely drive, and that's when I noticed the tires was done. Yeah, I know. Well, any indication if they might move? Like, is there a way through social media? They got that app like Neighbors Next Door, something like that. Is there a way through the grapevine you could find? Like, are the kids about to leave the home? So then they might downsize or move. Because either you're going to move or they're going to move. And if you know they're going to move in a year or two, I guess maybe here's what I just sit and wait and see if there's any other damage. Because like maybe she took it out, maybe she got her anger out slashing the tires. All right, so it's done. It ain't gonna happen again. But if it keeps happening, well, those are the other 2 tires are slashed. Somebody's car gets keyed. Yeah. Oh, hand clogs too. And by the way, Stu, if you move, you got to make sure she can't find you on the county. So you got to file an anonymous filing or set up a trust or something like that. Depends on the state and the county you're in. And then she can't find you again. You got to make sure. I'm sure you're part of the community. You got roots there. Does she know where you work? People think you guys are like, oh, you're too extreme. Oh, you're worried about girls like filing false accusations and claims. It's like, no, this happens. And especially when you look, it's one thing if you're in the dorm or you're in an apartment in your 20s and you know you ain't moving, you're not set up. But once you get a house, you got to be real careful because otherwise you got to move. And what happens is you like your house. You don't want to move. Moving's a pain in the ass. So next time you move to whatever Willow Acres subdivision, don't be banging the wives in the neighborhood. Don't be banging the single women. Don't bang women in your backyard. Wiz Division Productions, $5 at Stuart Clark. Should have thought of that before sticking your salami in. Paid off house wasn't more important than peeing. Pray she finds Tyrone too. Yeah. Good luck. Oh, I skipped over hand clogs. $2. Yeah, Cappy, it's both family and non-family. Laughing out loud. Just get in their face. Just say, curse and swear. Like, what don't you get? Like, really bring up the concept of sovereignty and sentience. Like, am I my own person? Like, you ever disrespect me again? I'll come in here and nag you to death about you doing something you don't want to do. Like if your dad, like, why aren't you married yet? Why aren't you married yet? Why aren't you married yet? You're like, why don't you give me a free car? Why don't you give me a free car? Why don't you give me a free car? Like I could do this all day too, completely disrespecting your decisions. Wiz Division again, $5. Yeah, we got that. And then online opportunities, $10. Cappy would love you. Thank you for making these amazing videos. I got nothing. He paid for it. He paid. If you got more, I mean, just and as always. If there are stories about Christian women being Christian and nice and supporting, send them in too. I'm not kidding. The only Christian guy is the one I got now. But the rest of them were all liars, and not Christians. I just vile people. All right, there you go. All right. Well, thanks for the donations, everybody. That's it. I am done now with all the backlog requests. There will be no more asshole consulting until I finish the book, A World Without Men, Analyzing an All-Female Economy. I am 70% done. I got through all the research, so that was a pain in the ass. You think there's data that's going to like what percent of young males are on psychotropic drugs? That data doesn't exist. You can get men, you can get women, you get everybody. You can't get it by age, so it's been a lot. But that's hopefully in the last quarter of the game. And we'll see you guys later too. Oh, link below. I don't know. Oh, the minimalism course. That's what I was going to say. The minimalism course is open until I finish the book. So if you want to take that minimalism course, it's open along with all my other all my other courses on Teachable. Link below, things and stuff. That's it. Toodles.